Yo, 2 seconds. Just making sure I got everything set up. Yo, what is up? Make sure everything is good. How's it going? Get this, got a little timer thing set up now. Yo. Okay, this stream is actually going to be kind of all over the place because we're going to be doing a couple things. So first of all, we're going to talk about... Oh, hang on. Got to close a bunch of stuff. Move this over here. Man, my other monitor is like just jam-packed full of random stuff. Okay, so... I don't know if I need this. Super bright in my face. What's up, guys? How's it going? I haven't announced anywhere that I'm streaming. Maybe I should do that. If you guys want to announce on Twitch, because I don't want to waste your guys' time announcing things. I'll announce it on my Discord, but that's... Is that... Okay. So, first we're going to talk about some UV stuff. This should be super quick. As far as good packing of UVs, actually I'll just open up one that's already unwrapped. Is this corner, do you know? Is this one? Is it this one? I don't know. Yeah, so this one's unwrapped. Okay, cool. So some things you want to keep in mind if you're doing bakes, normal matte bakes, the straighter your UVs are, the better it will be for light maps and stuff like that. What's up, Reeds? Face melt, yo. Hello, Governor. Sounded super weird. Joe Pie, what's up? Oh, I forgot I put alcohol in my coffee. It's good. It's really good. How's everyone doing? Whew. Okay, so UVs. You're seeing them. These are UVs. Just get a little bit of wasted space here, but at home I don't really. It's not too bad. Some things to keep in mind is things you know you won't see, like this stuff or this stuff. In Modo, it's super nice because if you already have it unwrapped and you have it in islands, you can just like select some areas, and then if you double click in here, it'll select just the islands. So if these are areas you know you're not going to see, you can kind of, like, you can move those out of the way. And then pack these. Make sure stretching is off, mainly because if you have texel density, matched on all these, stretching and stuff like that will change the density of how many pixels are per square centimeter or whatnot. Quilly Willy, what's up, man? You've got 6 minutes before you probably have to go. So usually you would pack that, and then you would take these guys, since they're not as important, you just scale them down and you can just fit them somewhere. They will lose a little bit of their density, their texel density, but that doesn't matter all that much. What's up, Spheric? How's it going? So that's the kind of like the basics of UV set stuff. In Unreal, you'll usually want like 2 UV sets because Unreal does light maps. So while you may have, like, say this is a building, right? Say this is like a giant building, and this is like the wall of the building, like there's a little door here and stuff. So this stuff, I would suggest like tiling that, so you have like a wall texture and you're tiling it. So in that case, you probably have a 0 to 1 wall texture that tiles left to right, and I guess up and down if you don't have like a grimy edge to where it meets the ground. You get that, and you'd map this whole side to the wall. So like, I guess I'll just do this. Oh, I just heard some noises. Hang on here. Oh, awesome. Oh, thanks for the Discord link. Okay, so if you're mapping this like it's a wall to a building, let me get this in place. You'll usually want to set it up so that it fits the height of the texture, right? Since it's a 0 to 1. But when you're in Unreal, you'll do that, and then your second UV set, whatever that is, needs to be a light map UV set, and that's where you can't have overlapping. Like if I overlap on this, you'll see some red. Where there's overlapping in your light map, you'll get some like blackness. It's not good when you're doing light maps. What's up, fam? How you doing? Yeah, so that's the basics of like UV set stuff. The other things I wanted to cover is some ways to make some simple or complex shapes simply. That makes sense? Probably not. Hang on. So if you have like, you have a box, right, and you want to have a cylinder. Let's get this set up. Okay, so say you want this cylinder to have like a nice bevel between here. There's some really nice stuff in Modo, and I know you can do it in Maya, but you have to be using Mental Ray. I'm not in a closet anymore. No, I'm still in the closet, man. It's still, the nightmare is still real. Help me. Oh, now I'm all off center. I can't handle it. Who cares? Whatever. So there's this really nice shader that Modo has, where essentially, see where this is meeting? Those are intersecting, right? So they're not one, but if you, what are we at here? I don't want the wireframe. I don't want the grid view. If you go to the shader, let's actually, we'll apply, press M, you can apply a new shader. We'll call this bevel. So go into the bevel shader, and in the material, you've got properties. And on the main first tab here, you get a little arrow here because the properties are going off the screen. So you just click that. You get a round edge width. So if you have this, let's see, I'll get a nice preview on here. This might not be a good example, but so you can see the edge there. In the shader, you can round it by however much. So you get like a, do you see there's like a bevel happening now? And those kind of look like they're welded. You get a nice bevel on all your edges too. So like, see everything's chamfered as if you would expect it to be if you high poly that stuff. You should tell your parents to come out. Jeez. Walked into that one. How are you guys doing, by the way? So some new faces in here, some returners that I haven't seen in a while. But yeah, Corey, this is some of the stuff you were asking about earlier with like, how do you get these, what are some ways to get some shapes like this? Now, it doesn't always work, but there's certain, like, see, you get a break here. I don't know if you can see that. It's basically where the normal snaps. I think if you bevel that, nope, I was wrong. Meh. Anywho, doesn't work all the time, but it can be super handy. Half the time you don't, like that normal problem you're seeing in the corner there, you don't even have to worry about. Because when you're making details like that, it's usually like this big, and like, you're not going to see it from there. The other thing you can do is you can export out. Just export it to somewhere. Bevel mesh. And then we'll go to a Zbrush. Yeah, so in this, in this workflow, you'd basically just take these two meshes, duplicate them, hide that one, just call that one your high poly, and then name the other one low poly. The low poly one you want to make sure has a blank, another shader on it, right? Because you don't want to have your high poly to have that beveling, artifacting stuff going on it. So with that said, you just take this one, you boolean these together is one way to do it, and then just clean up the edge and snap everything, unwrap it all, and then bake it with this, with the one with the shader on it that's doing that beveling effect. The other way is to import those meshes into Zbrush, and this is actually how they made most of the guns, if not all of them, for the Division. Bevel mesh. Oh, nice. That imported well. Hang on here. There we go. Okay, so you have this guy, right? If you turn the wireframe on, it's the same. You do a Dynamesh master on it. So this requires a little bit more geometry, of course, right? Do your Dynamesh. Give it a minute here. Now you have the super dense model, but you can see it's all. Ignore this stuff too, because that normally you'd want to. Shit, I'm gonna have to do it. Hang on. That would bug me if I showed you guys how to do this, but had those artifacts in it. Okay, so we're just gonna go super dense. Super dense. Export selected, OBJ, bevel mesh. It's killer for long objects. You talking about Dynamesh? So Dynamesh default over here on the right side, little side tangent. So on the right side here, you've got, in your geometry, you've got Dynamesh right here. Now this Dynamesh applies a perfect cube as a volume around the object that you have, and then chops that up based on the resolution that you're saying on all of the axis. Or axi, and then that's how you get your geometry. The problem is when you get really long objects, you still get the box, so the really long objects lose resolution. So if you go online, you can download the Dynamesh Master, and the Dynamesh Master actually creates a box that fits the size of the object, and then divides that, and only looks at poly count numbers. So you just do that instead. Let me import this one. Okay, so this one's got the new edges on it. We'll do a Dynamesh on it, 1.5 million. Using Dynamesh Master, that's pretty intense. Yeah, if you actually post that in the technical questions on the Discord, we can take a look at that later. Okay, so now that we've done that, you see you've got this bevel here. If you hold down Shift, you can smooth it. So you can get like nice control over how much that stuff bevels. But recently I learned at work that you can go, this is how they were doing the guns. You can go to deformation. I don't know why I didn't know this before. There's a polish slider. And essentially it polishes the entire mesh while trying to maintain the shape. So you can turn it up to like, I don't know, let's see what 21 does. So this is evenly polishing the entire mesh. Let's see how far we can take it. So that looks pretty good already. Like from a render standpoint, for normals, you can get some good details from this. And then since it's Dynamesh already, and it's, I don't even know if I have. Since it's Dynamesh already, you can chip up stuff where you need to, right? Okay, what is this off-topic thing that reads? It says, off-topic question, is there a button that disables inactive sub-objects to turn dark? Ah, so the reason sub-objects turn dark. Oh yeah, Sublime, that's actually a really good point. So let's do that real quick. And then I'll tell you about the sub-object darkening. So if you go morph target, store morph target, basically it's storing where all of the verts are for the mesh. And then you can go and then do your deformation. You can polish it by however much. So that gets polished, right? You're like, all right, cool. That's exactly how I wanted it, except I didn't want this edge. I didn't want this edge beveled. Because you've got the morph target stored, you can go and use a polish brush, and then when you, wait, hang on. It's not a polish brush, it's the morph brush. So you use the morph brush, and wherever you paint, it'll go back to the original morph target. So you can sharpen that up. Maybe you want to sharpen all this up, but you want this beveled. See, in that case, I would probably just mask this area out, and then run the bevel or the morph brush across the entire mesh, and then deselect that, and then just clean up where you need to. Ta-da! Anyway, that would give you the mesh with the bevel that you need. It's a little dense. You can Dynamesh it. If it's a little dense, I would just accept the density of it. You can Dynamesh it by like half and then bake that out, and that should be good. As far as if you append say another object, and you see this is what Reeds is talking about, where you're moving objects around, and when you switch between them, they're going dark and light. They're going dark and light because you're effectively adding the color attributes of a mesh. The only way I know around this currently, and I'm sure there's a way to change this in the like default settings, but you just go into the color and you fill the object with white. So when you go to this one, fill this one with white as well. You can just dock this over here, because I do it enough that like I would just dock it so I can fill object. Just make sure this is all the way white, and then just fill object. So now I'm switching between the two, and you don't lose the, it doesn't go crazy. I'm trying to remember what the button was for the, I can't even remember anymore. No! You can also make a morph target before polishing it. Okay, yeah. Yep, cool. So that kind of covers most of the little micro sub things that I wanted to talk about. Oh, there's one more. We were talking about candles. So the way that candles melt, they usually melt downward, right? They don't balloon up. I think we were talking about this in Discord. I think Reeds is making candles, and someone was like, you should make the candles melted and stuff, which is a great idea. Much more like visually interesting to look at. Where are we at here? Initialize. So we want more of these. We don't care about those. Okay, so we have this mesh. I'm just gonna dynamesh it. Yeah, Subtool Master is super nice. Good point, Nickelbeer. So let's go ahead and polish this guy. After this, we'll get into Substance Designer. I'm gonna look at creating generators and how to use scatter node to scatter the generator around. I haven't myself played with it very much, so it's gonna be quite the learning experience. I would imagine it's pretty straightforward, so we'll just go with it. Alright, so I got a polish on there. Clay tubes, I wonder. So using this, so first we're going to scrape away a bunch of this stuff. We're also going to be blurring a lot. And I think we need to, we're going to just switch that to subtract so I don't have to. So the candle, it melts, right? So you want to, you can just do this. If you control click on the mask or outside the mask, you can soften it. We'll just move this down. And if you look at the, okay, cool. So now we're just gonna try and like cut away at this stuff. And you kind of want this to go down too. I probably should be looking at ref, and I would suggest that everyone should be looking at ref while they're doing this. This is also usually quite a smooth operation that happens. Candles melting operation. Yeah, usually you'll have an area where it gives and you get a spill out. And where it spills out at the breaking point on the sides, you usually get a cut in. So if this dips down like this, usually if this is spilling out, it ends up pooling here as well, right? So we'll just, this is super hacked looking, but give me a sec here. This is kind of embarrassing. Anywho. Snake hook is also a really good way to start pulling on this stuff. But yeah, remember that stuff melts, it melts down. You get a break point wherever that ends up occurring. And then from there, the candle just kind of gives. And remember the wax is getting pretty hot, so like this will all be folding out but then dipping down. Oh, you posted a more refined version of the candle stuff? Awesome. Let's see here. Oh yeah. Cool. Yeah, just remember that the inside, you also get this edge thing. This edge here. Whoa, don't do that. 2 seconds, I need to, there we go. This edge actually happens quite often in candles. Basically, it's a sharp edge, which is like essentially the melting point of where the wax was and where the heat source was meeting it. It falls off enough where the max no longer is at melting point, so you get essentially a harsh edge where the wax melts and just drops from here down. But yeah, orb pack is like where it's at, and I think on ArtStation there's a new orb pack, which is essentially what I have. This whole bottom row is all orb stuff. It's all very, very good brushes. I strongly suggest. I mean, look at this brush. I don't even. Look what that's doing. That's amazing. What else is there in here? Rock detail brush. Turn up the intensity on this and just show you the. So you can get some like nice hand sculpted looking stylized rock shapes. Even if you just need stuff to go off of, like now I see this shape here. Invert that. See, now I can do stuff like that. Oh yeah, good tools, good brushes. All right, so I think I got through all the little random stuff that I saw on Discord that I figured I should probably just dump about. This is gonna be a weird video. I don't even know how I'm gonna. What would you guys call this video on YouTube? Oh, that's Painter. I don't want Painter. I want the designer. Madman's Day Out with Zbrush. Much lessons, such wow. Alright. That's the title. It's been decided. It'll be bold. Much lessons, and under it in small text, such wow. All right, so let's see here. We want to build a generator. So generators are essentially a node structure that you build that will make a single object that you can then use like a scatter node on to create, I don't know, a bunch of rocks or something. So let's see if we can get like a shape. So a shape node, and here we're gonna make like, we'll start with this. What is this? A bell. And then we'll levels it. We're just gonna levels it so that we have like a harder edge to it. So it's more like a beveled circle. In the base material, we need to expose the normal. And for the, drag it up there. For the color, we'll just make it like oh, that's the metallic values. For the base color, yeah, that's fine. Okay, we need a normal. Normal's a bit weak. Give me a minute while I gather all of this stuff together. We'll actually do a displacement too, or for a height map. So we were talking about that on the last stream, about like what do you need to have to do that, and like how do you turn it on in here. So you go to where are we at here, material, default, edit, and then you should just be able to scale. That is really weird that it's doing it like that, but yeah. Why would it do it like that? Oh, I guess because black is... No, that's ridiculous. I'm like, why is everything so slow? It's because I scaled this up. Yeah, you're talking about how like I can see. I'm just gonna make this smaller. That way we don't have to worry about it. Oh yeah, and you see how you're getting that harsh edge? You want to do like a blur on it, and then lower the blur intensity. Kind of like beveling your height maps, if you want to call it that. Anyway, okay, so we have this, and we need to, like, you want to do something with this shape, right? Like maybe you want to scatter. So scatter node, did they change it? What's it called now? Or is it with it? I thought it was a C. If Ben's in here, he'll know. But yeah, this is the part where I'm going to start diving into stuff that I don't know about, so we're going to be exploring. But essentially, a generator will make you a shape a bunch of times with different properties as it scatters itself around. It's Splatter. Thanks, Ben. You're the best. Alright, so default Splatter is doing this. Whoa, look at that with the, whoa. Some crazy. I'll lower this a tad. You're the best, Ben. The best. Okay, so in the splatter node, we can do all types of weird shit. Let's give this like a weird effect before we continue forward, so you can see rotation and stuff. Oh, I already have one. Just grab another shape. We'll go polygon, polygon 2. Okay, so we get this shape, give it a curve. Lego. Lego. Alright, so we'll do that just so we get a weird shape before we continue forward. Splatter, we probably don't want to do. Rotation variation, so see how you're starting to get random. You can pan it. I get some weird stuff going on for sure. Look at this. That's some crazy shit right there. Not Legos anymore, for sure. Okay, so we'll go with that shape. I think we're gonna go with less, maybe like 350, just so we can see more of what's going on. We're also gonna need to or a few with levels before you blur. If you want to give more range to the Do a slope blur. Okay, so let's just look at this one right now. Okay, so we got this one shape, right? Dude, this stuff gets crazy. Think here. Let's do clouds 3. A slope blur. You might remember this from the oh god damn it, the other stream. Just gonna go over here. Just gonna do that. I was talking with Ben about this earlier today. He was laughing at me because I was just sitting there struggling with like constant stacking of like grayscale conversions. Like, what's going on? I still get why. One of these is making it colored. Anywho, fuck it. Hello, flames. So this is the slope blur with the clouds on top. We need to increase the samples and we need to lower that intensity. We're also going to make it min. Here, actually, let me lower the intensity so you can see what's happening. So you got this noise that's happening, right, where it's breaking up the shape based on the slope of this noise. Blur just kind of does it everywhere. Min does it inwards into the shape. And max does it outwards. So usually you want inwards for organic things because that's how things usually chip away for aging. If it wasn't aging, if you were trying to add to the shape, then I would suggest max. Let's see here. I don't like that clouds. Maybe this one's better. Yeah, that one's a little better. Okay, so then you plug that back into the normal gray converter. I hate you. And see, now you're getting this kind of chipped stone look. So Ben, we need to get to the bottom of this. Every time I plug in, I need to get a gray conversion. Where do I need to do that first so that it does not happen down the chain? Because like it's happening here, so this one must not be gray because it's turning this back into color. So you can see the endpoint is colored. And because I plug it into a gray one, it has to make it gray. So this is converting it into a gray node. Super annoying. Slope blur grayscale, that's probably what it is. Thank you. Oh, I don't even... Oh yeah, and then I need to... What am I doing? What's happening? Alright, min. Samples high. Intensity low. So you're getting some cool... This is cool. We're going to turn up the... yeah, we're going to go for the plain high res. And then we're actually going to switch material to the tessellation. Actually, can I even do that? Because this is the parallax. So there's usually grayscale versions of most nodes. Okay, so I'll just keep that in mind as I move forward. Okay, so why in the hell? There we go. Oh, God. Oh, shit. It doesn't have... What? Hang on. Because it's not roughness anymore. I'm just doing this. So we'll just leave these to the side, just because display reasons. Okay, so we have this shape. Let's actually in the material now. There we go. Now we're actually doing tessellation. We'll have to lower it, of course, when we start multiplying it, so there's more of them. So you have this guy, right? Like, we also have this the scattering. So let's see what it looks like in the scatter. Disorder. Oh yeah. Don't mind me and all my ridiculousness that's going on right now. So we got random rotation going on. Grid number. There we go. It's so funny because I actually need to is it the blur? Before this happens, I need to actually mess up the edging of it a bit. Pretty intensely, actually. What does this one look like? Oh, interesting. So one thing I need to do is in the in this height map, you can see that this point right here is super bright. You don't want that, just because that flattens out your normal. There we go, just by getting a gradient. Now this center point is like much finer. It's really weird doing this and streaming it at the same time. Okay, so now we get this. What do I... What's Clouds 1 look like? I need to change this song. This is not working for me. Anyways, you guys have any questions? I mean, we're just kind of just messing around here. Disorder angle. Size variation. The countdown timer. Yeah, it's just it's a way for me to remember how long I have until I should probably log off. Bum, bum, bum. So one thing that's really throwing off this look of what these look like is the fact that it's so, that shape is kind of crazy. It's not really, like that curve there, it's not really working out. I'll probably just do a blend again. Wait, I don't need that. The impact, you can do tessellation in game now. It's not too, I mean, it gets pretty expensive. It's just how it is. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I would say don't use it in game unless the studio says go for it. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense. It's a little better. Those edges though. A performance. So tessellation at more so than not eats up performance pretty quickly. And I think it's not really the geometry count, it's more of the idea that it needs to tessellate. So it actually needs to compute that tessellation. Yeah. Palm is actually probably where it's at as far as like getting that detail. Crisis uses it a lot. The new Rainbow Six stuff is using Palm a lot. Tessellation, I would be very selective in use. Because there's so much more you could do with that amount, like, though it may not cost very much, in the overall scheme of things, you could do so much more with that expense to benefit the overall image, if that makes sense. BK Primal, what's up? Yeah, but those are demos, right? Like, real-time tessellation in an open world environment in a game that's like streaming, like The Division or like Skyrim, like you just don't, it's usually a pretty bad idea to do it. Oh, while playing Siege? Interesting. Yeah, Siege is a really interesting thing because like you've got things going on in it that are like, Siege is a very contained map. The maps aren't very large, right? I would say in that instance, currently in games, you could get away with tessellation on specific things. Yeah, palm and bump offset are like usually the ways to go. Parallax occlusion mapping is really nice too because you can, in some cases, you can just have the parallaxing also casting shadows. So even though there's no geometry there, it's calculating the shadows, and I would much rather pay for that than just more geo. God, this thing is, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this. This is just basically I need to do a bunch of layering. So like this would be, let's see here. Well, that one's interesting. It's like we're in a little valley. Cool. So just start experimenting. I'm just gonna start dinking around with stuff and see what I can do. Oh, there's gotta be a, yeah, okay, so you got this node here, right? So we've got this one. We add levels. If you hit delete, it breaks the chain. But if you select the node and hit backspace, it maintains the chain. Just a little thing to keep in mind. Yeah, a lot of the stuff in Siege is probably because they use Substance Designer and Substance Painter almost exclusively. Most of their stuff was created in this. So they probably just relied on displacement and tessellation and palm. Displacement, tessellation. You know what I mean. Tessellation and palm to get the shapes and details. But I mean, I can't be quoted on that either because I don't know. Maybe they didn't. It does look that way though. They weren't doing a lot of high poly stuff per se. I mean, when you start doing high poly stuff, like you've seen it with my temple stuff, it's like it can become really, really time consuming. Oh, that's interesting. Look what this warp did to the... That helps a lot. Dude, job offer for wargaming. Sick. That's awesome, man. Yeah, it's time consuming and it pays off, right? There is a bit of a trade-off, like as you get more and more into AAA, there tends to be a pattern to the extent that like essentially you can get all of your assets built high poly and ZBrushed and detailed out like to the works, right? What's up, James Bond? You can get it all detailed out to the works, but at the cost of development time, that cost is usually far outweighing like you getting the game done. So that's when mass outsourcing tends to come into play. And you can see that with lots of games that are AAA. They'll outsource tons of their content. If you're lucky, you're at a studio where they can plan around that and give the artists that are in-house the choice of what they would like to build. That's not always the case, and even at studios that are like that, it's not the case for everyone. Sometimes I'd much rather you be working on the overarching goal of creating a game and leave the content creation to the outsourcing team. And the other thing too is some studios have their outsourcing team in-house, so that's when you get like props team. BK Primal, you might want to just respond to him again and just make sure everything's good to go. It can actually take some time for them to get all that stuff situated, but so what's going on here? If you throw the same input into directional warp, you can nudge the direction as well. Oh, I know. Yeah. So if I did, if I type in warp and did directional warp, whoa, that's not what I want. So if I did this one instead, then I can actually choose which way and then increase intensity. Increase intensity. Starting to get some bubbly looking stuff going on here. Double it up, same input, huh? So wait, are you saying a directional warp and then do this? Oh, like that? Is that what you're talking about? That's kind of crazy. So now we're getting shapes that aren't really naturally occurring, which is kind of weird. Yes, Sublime. That's that is an option. You could do that. Yeah. Just turn these up. Yeah, you can do that for sure. See, now we're getting into these shapes that don't look right. So we need to either tone down the intensity. What's this one look like? It's a little better. Anywho, you can do a scatter, second scatter, and a blend. And then plug that in. And let's see here. Let's make little tiny ones. Now on this blend. Actually need to what's happening? Basically, I want to level these down so they're not so tall. Oh, not that way, sorry. Too much fun. Haha. Hot things are hot. But from the warp output. What? You talking like if you were to do this? Oh man, that hurts my brain. This is dangerous stuff. This is how you get like parallel universes and stuff. This little one is obviously way too on the Rockies. They're all kind of a little on the extreme side. Tone it down, guys. Tone it down. Too much coffee. What's going on? Nice to see you. The other thing is you're getting this weird, like, scattering, or like the splatter is really even. If Ben's around, I think there's a way to scatter based on values. So like if you give it like a cloud, you can tell it to scatter. Yeah, nickel beer, that'd be cool. Pretty sure you can scatter based on like a map. So you're not just evenly scattering like this. The other thing too is I feel like there should be a way to generate this randomly each time. And I forget how you do that. No. But yeah, you can make it so that this alpha that's coming out is slightly different each time. With shit scattered on top. Try sampler or something. Sampler. Vector map input, color map input. Wow, yeah. Yeah, Sublime. This stuff gets crazy, right? It's a little intense. Not actual shit? Are you sure? Okay, let's make a new graph. Yeah, that stuff that we were just looking at gets pretty out there. Let's, there's like a cobble. My phone's probably dead. It's getting there. Give me a second here. I took a picture of something and I was like, dude, if I could make that, that'd be cool. Uh-oh, we got pictures coming in now. What is this, Nickel Beer? Oh, this is what you're talking about. Oh, interesting. That's good to know. So I could actually do a directional warp of this into this. And then rotate. Oh man, that's weird. Ugh. That's pretty cool though. Thanks for showing me that. I need to find that picture. Anyways, do you guys have anything you want me to look at of yours? Since this is like a highly, the stream is very, what do you call it? Experimental. We're just doing a lot of trial and error stuff. This stuff. Oh yeah, that's my tea maker. Yeah, yeah. All right. So these are relatively square, but they've got like chipped edges, rounded edges. Normally you would do a slope, grayscale, and then you give it like a noise. Min, because you want to chip away at it. And see, then you start chipping away at the edges of the stone. But this one's a little intense. So let's try some other. Oh, this one's weird. Oh, that's interesting. So that's what that one looks like. I think the Perlin Noise one's pretty good. Perlin Noise 2. Yeah, because then you start getting weird stuff like that. This is a little better for you, Sublime? Isn't there a, I feel like there's a generator for creating like edging, like a convexity map. Whoa, getting crazy. So we're doing we're doing the same thing, but we're doing it with a different scaled Perlin noise. And distance will change like how fine these details happen, right? So we kind of still want to do a little bit of this. The larger stuff. We could do the smaller ones now, but then really tone back the strength of it. Yeah, so like this pass here. This is more of the larger pass, right? So it's like maybe you wanna do one more of those before plugging it into this. So in this one, you go here and you change the random seed of it to try and get a little bit more variety. I feel like this smaller one is just not doing it for me. For now, anyways. This environment is not working very well for what we're trying to do. Wow, there's a lot of people in here. How you guys doing? Holy shitsouls. I do use doubling and halving. I mean, I guess if I did that, then I could... So if I did that, then I wouldn't have to make this one, right? So I could just do this, plug this into here, and then put it here. And in this one, I can double it up. Well, I don't know. That's not really doing what I want it to do. But there's a Perlin zoom, which is helping me out because I can just change the zoom size of this. I feel like there's a blur happening though that doesn't need to be happening. Oh, that's interesting. This was not plugged into that, so I was losing all the meh. I guess so. Dude, Substance Designer is a crazy creature. Crazy creature. Let's do some organizing a bit, huh? Anyone in chat have any questions? I mean, let's talk about it. Let's get it out there. Let's chat. Hope you guys have music on too, because you're just hearing me blab on about. Yes. Oh, these are weird. Binary Latin, what's going on? You're getting a lot of exposure on your scene you did. Anyway, we'll leave those alone while we dink around with this shape. I feel like this shape actually needs to be bigger so that we utilize more of the space. Yeah, Blender's a good choice for now. If you're tight on money for learning 3D, I mean, it can do what you want to do. I know there's a way to do it, but I don't know how. There's a way to make it so this is the sense, this piece right here, this group, this is how you would make a generator. So this, you duplicate it, right? You would make like a new graph, and you'd say like stone tile generator, gen. You paste it in here. This is your guy now. And then when you go back into here, you should be able to just drag your generator in here and connect it to this. Though I think you need to have, actually let's look at that. So we're in here, we need to have an output. This is all new to me, man. Here we go. I don't even know if this is how you would. All right, so here's the stone tile, right? So now instead of having this, you just have your generator, and you would probably add a frame. In generators, in this frame, you would probably have, say, your stone. Where's the ref? You'd have the little sandy stuff inside. You'd have like a generator for that. And you'd have a generator for the little plants. This picture in the background just comes with the program, but it looks like my hometown area. It's kind of weird, actually. So now that we have this, right? It's being created by a generator. Open reference will go into here. And then you can go back, so you can have your references up here, which is really nice. With that in mind, you can go back here and get this working. It's not even 4 yet. Oh, the time? But yeah, I don't know, is Ben here? Ben might be chilling in here. My God, there are so many of you in here. This is so cool. What's up, Zerg? Ryrib? Spider? You data miner, you. Yeah, it's like 9:37 right now. We've got, stream's got 22 minutes left. If you haven't already, please follow. Streaming Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8 to 10. And then randomly I'll stream somewhere in the week for another 2 to 3 hours. Working on the that temple scene. Right now, I'm just trying to learn this thing we call Substance Designer. So I think what people are doing right now is they're doing a, so we've got the blur, blur's fine, shape's fine, slope blur, and slope blur 2 and 3. I think what they're doing currently is, so the intensity of this changes the shape, right? You see that? Instead of doing that, maybe they're using like a 2D transfer, TD transform node, and then they're angle-wise, they're rotating when they need to, right? See that? So what you do is you take that rotation and you expose it. We call it slope blur rotation 3. Hit OK. Then OK. And I think if you go back here and click on this node, yeah, the slope blur becomes visible. So then I can take, I think it's tile sampler is what you'd want. Bear with me since I don't know what I'm doing. Pattern input 1. So if we do this, pattern, and we switch it to input. So now we're getting the input of all these, right? So I'm going to connect this over here, connect this one over here. So we got this. Don't mind the crazy height action going on. And then let's say size. Okay, let's say it's that. I'm gonna lower the strength too. Oh man, I can feel it. This is, we're on the right track. Okay, so these are our tiles, right? Can't follow twice. No. So we've got this pattern. Cool. Cool. Input number. So we can make 3 inputs. You see that? So we could then duplicate these. So we have that input and that input. So now we've got all 3 of them, but they're all the same, right? So in here we've exposed through a transform. We've right-clicked on the, wow, it's not even here now, which is kind of weird. Transform matrix. Ooh. I'm getting into uncharted territory here. I don't know about this. In the transform node, we've exposed the rotational properties. And what I'm seeing of that is that it got turned into a transform matrix. Edit. Slope blur rotation. Then in here, that is exposed now, so I can rotate the angle. So I don't know if you can see it here. So these two are now slightly different. Do you see that? And I can do it to this one too. So now all of these are technically slightly different. Obviously, you're going to want to do more overarching changes. The noise generator, that's a good idea. So in this this guy, exposing the, so let's do that. So we've got distance, random seed. Yeah, so if we expose the random seed on this one, oh, we can't expose that? What? Why can't you expose that? It's ludicrous. Wait, that is super weird. Why can't you expose that? Well, that weirds me out. Expose the strength of the slope blur. That's a good idea. Dude, this is cool. I'm like previewing this one, but I'm in here. Man, this program's so sick. My question is once you expose that, you've got intensity here. If you clear, okay, then it comes back. All right, cool. Expose, we'll call that intensity. Then you go back here. And then in this one, we need a rotational on that one as well, since these ones are such an overarching. Wait, what? Hang on here. Let me know if anyone has any questions about what's happening, because I'm like half experimenting and trying to figure this out. Okay, so we're going to clear the rotation on that one, but this one we're going to expose the rotation on. So the rotation 3, and then back in here, 5 on that. We can do like 25 on this one. Like, I don't know, 100. So now those are all starting to vary up a bit. Then in here, we need to pattern, rotation, symmetry, randomness, expose the distance node in the zoom. That way I can control the fidelity of the edge damage. Dude, it's funny, I'm limiting myself because I'm using the displacement. I need to go to parallax occlusion. I also need to make this higher res. Yeah, the distance, not the disorder, yeah. So if I go into this one and change the distance. See, the thing is it's only changing the distance of the last final damage, which will only be important to me if I'm varying the size of these tiles. So if some of them are larger than the others, I'm gonna like say one tile turns into the size of 4, then I'd need to change the distance of this noise on the fly via exposing it so that I can keep the chipping around the same size, right? What else can you do in this? So we got pattern, we got size. Size is going okay. Size random. Scale. Wait a minute. 1.84, 1.4. There we go. It's obviously still too in the tile. Oh, in this? In the tile generator? Interesting. So in here you're talking about, oh yeah, I need to add a gradient linear. And I'm trying to remember like how this is done. But basically you use the gradient to change the angle of the tile sampler. Damn you, Primal. Damn you. Come on, chair. Scoot forward. You got this. It would be enough to blend B&W spots with zoom blur and expose the distance to get 3 very different types of tiles to combine into all the many ways we can do this. That would be more efficient because then I wouldn't have to deal with like so many exposed parameters or like of the same thing, right? And whoa, hello. That's not what I wanted. There we go. And maybe you want to lessen that just a tad so it doesn't happen so heavily. Dude, that's awesome. Dude, if you like crank this up, does that? Let's see here. Oh, you get some weird shit going on. That's cool though. Tilting with gradients. Tilting with the gradients. Dude, I love this. Like Ben, I'm happy I was able to teach Quilly Willy something. You can select these inputs, and if you press X, it'll invert them. It'll flip the connection so that you don't have to sit here and do this. Or like do this and then this. You can just press X and it'll work. Feels good. Feels real good. Yeah, look at the height map of that. That's crazy. The other thing we need to do is, if you look at, where'd the picture go? In this photo, there's like a noise of detail in the stone itself. So you gotta add that into this guy. Whoa, that's insane. If you take two square shape generators and subtract and rotate square from another, you get a very chipped one and add slope blur to it. If you take two square shape generators, it's like I have to read this out in my brain again. Hang on here. We need to save this probably. We need to save this. Also need to, in this guy, get the metallic all the way down, roughness value. Don't want it laser hot. You want to be able to see the details. The deets. We're going to add the ambient occlusion to the base color just so we can see. We're just doing this so we can see a little bit better. Alright, 2 square shape generators and subtract a rotated square from another. You get very chipped. Okay, so we're going to do that now. So if you go in here, are you talking about my shape generators? Curvature from the normal and blend it with the AO so you can see better. Ah, that's what I was looking for earlier. Curvature. Plug the normal into the curvature map. Oh, look how beautiful that it's stunning. Blend it with that. Sweet. Let's see if we can't. Awesome, thank you. I can see. I can see. Hey, no problem, Corey. Don't remind him about the time limit. Oh my god. I hear a little beep in my ear. Yeah, curvature will definitely help. I forgot about that, man. Like, that'll help you so much, like, seeing what you're doing. The AO stuff, though, is not really behaving how I'm expecting it to. Like, the low frequency stuff is... Maybe I need the low frequency, but lower the spread? No? Is it the medium frequency stuff I'm looking for? I guess that works. Do the squares! I'm sorry. Alright, so are you talking about shapes? So if we do a shape, 2 shapes, square shape generators, or do you actually want me to use the generator? Oh, whoops. I can't pull the generator in itself. Actually, no. No. Shit. What am I... Rah. Okay, so I'm here. I take this shape. Take another shape. Let me read here. So normally, so what you're saying I should do is take 2 of these, and then I'll just do it over here for example's sake, but take 2 of them, and I would subtract through a blend these 2 shapes through blend, subtract, and then transform and rotate. Am I doing this wrong? What's happening here? Riz, what's going on? And blend with subtract, rotate, and move one. Also move it. Oh, okay, because they're like straight up on top of each other, right? Okay, so we're looking at this. I thought it was this one. Multiply. Because if you do a multiply, you can chop one up with the other. If that, yeah, chop one up with the other. I mean, this is super cool because then you can start getting some crazy shapes. Thanks for being so patient with me, Binary. So if I went in here and occasionally I exposed it so that I could rotate. Oh man, I'll have to set all that up. But yeah, basically make it so that exposing here I could grab this and rotate sometimes to chop the edges off and stuff like that. Oh yeah, I need to turn off tiling on that. So that is super good to know. So if you go in here, you see it says tiling. Wait, how do you turn tiling off? I'm like, tiling mode. Is it in this? I already forgot. I'd done it earlier. Output format, output tiling mode. See, tiling mode's grayed out in that one. Where was it at? Binary, help me. I need your brain, Binary. After that, I should probably roll out of here. But thanks everyone for hanging out. Set it to absolute. All right, so you go here. Tiling. Oh wait, what am I doing? Are you talking about? I'm like, where is it? Where? I'm like, set it to absolute. Absolute. No tiling. There it is. Okay. Oh, thank God. I think I'm normal. Absolute. No tiling. That way, If you go off the side, it doesn't. So like if I turn this one back on, when I do that, you can see it come back. So that turns it off. Dude, you could do some crazy patterns. Do things like this. Okay. Yes. Thanks for hanging out and having this experience with me. I'm learning things, and you guys are too by proxy. Learning all the things. Stuff's crazy cool. Crazy cool. I saw a Dota pattern there for a second. Did you see it? I saw it. I saw it. Dota! Dota! Alright guys, it was a pleasure. I'll see you guys on Tuesday, or if I stream before that. Thanks for hanging out. I will check you guys later. Again, thanks for holding my hand. It's nice. Your guys' hands are soft.